crossroad moment I faced was in 1999. I couldn't see the clock. At the most critical time in my job, recording the time of birth, the clock became a blurry vision. There were other signs. I lost a ton of weight in a short period of time. I couldn't quench my thirst no matter how much I drank. They ordered blood work, and unfortunately, that night in 1999, I ended up fighting for my life in the intensive care unit. I was a labor and delivery nurse. Everything happened around that clock, from the time of birth to the time of recording the APGAR scores. I needed to see that clock. It's interesting, as a nurse, we put our patients first. And as women, we normally put everybody ahead of ourselves. And that night, working in labor and delivery, I knew that the most important job for me was for me to save my life. So as soon as I bundled that baby up, I ran and I called my doctor. But it took me weeks to get to that point. And that's the unfortunate nurturing part of who we are as women, and especially who we are as healthcare providers, always seeming to put others on the top of the list and really putting our needs at the bottom. I wanted to be alive. I wanted to stay alive, and I wanted to be healthy. I didn't just want to survive. I wanted to thrive. I was a single mom raising 3 children. The most pressing concern was what's going to happen to them if I'm not here. So I had to learn to flip the script. I had to learn that it wasn't selfishness, but it was self-love, and that is where it all begins. I was in denial. I was a worrier. I immediately went into planning my funeral, making sure that my children could stay together. I feared that if these things happened, what I felt like was out of nowhere, then I would not be around much longer. So I was in a state of depression for a while, and I had to make a choice. I had to make a declaration that my life was worth saving, and that it wasn't going to be saved if I was sad or depressed or crying or throwing myself a pity party, but it was going to be saved by the power that I had inside of me. I had to make a choice that my life was worth saving. So that meant making sure, what am I putting in my body? How much am I moving? How am I managing stress? I remember in Lara Casey's book, she said, worrying is like praying for something that you don't want to happen. I had to shift. And that shift happened when I moved to Pittsburgh from Philadelphia. And I was offered a program, the Dr. Dean Ornish program for reversing heart disease. And it felt like I was opening up this sweepstakes letter stating that I had won $1 million. But what it was saying is that this program becomes your medicine. It becomes your cure for diabetes. It becomes your cure for kidney disease. It becomes your cure for high blood pressure. It becomes your cure for the weight gain. But you have the power. You have to make these different choices. That program saved my life. I'm way beyond that 5-year mark. I'm supposed to be on dialysis. Diabetes is a progressive disease. My diabetes is like a person that doesn't have diabetes. That's how good my numbers are. I've ran half marathons. I've done things that I thought was humanly impossible with my conditions. But it just proved to me, like I hope it proves to others, that your life is worth saving and that you have the power to change it by the choices you make every day. And so I believe my story is not for me. I'm supposed to tell you not to give up, that you're not in this alone, that there is someone that's praying for you, cheering for you, and encouraging you to fight back.